go. Boom. You already know. I gotta get to posting the link real quick. Again, if someone joins this or sees this and has a more productive way of doing this, drop it in the comment, man. Do appreciate it. Much appreciated. Yo, what up? Yes, sir. Nugget time. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, man. What up, RJ? What up, Pop? Yeah. Today is going to be a very great stream. I'm real excited about this one, man. This is what came to me through prayer. And I think this will help out a lot of people get started with taking those first steps to investing. So I'm going to try to get some more people in here. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with it because I don't want to be all day. I don't want to take up everybody's time. Plus, this video will live on after the live. Once we're finished up, the video's going to be on YouTube forever. So you always will be able to follow along this journey of creating an account. Just the most important part of investing. While we get people in here, I'm just going to talk about a system that I think of every time I talk about investing, you know what I mean? And that is, there's levels to investing, So like, I could talk about investing and stuff like that all day because, that's just where I am as far as it comes to the space, right? But I can't talk, level 20 investing with someone about, already market structure and all these sorts of things with people if they haven't done level 1. You know what I mean? And level 1 is creating the account. Like, I could talk about, the crypto market and show you charts and show you all these other different sorts of things. But if you have not made a portfolio to invest and get in on this stuff, then there's no point in me even talking about it. Like, you know what I mean? When we go to school, we don't just go right into, 11th grade English. We do 11 grades of English before we get to the 11th grade English, and we learn English based on the things we learned previously. So that's how it is with investing too. So I was like, you know what, let's slow down. Let's bring this back for all my folks that wants to get to, level 1 investing, and that's creating the account. So once we get a couple people in here, I just want to make sure, let it post real quick, let it marinate. Probably in about 2 more minutes, I'm going to get right into it because, like I said, this is something that could live on afterwards. So even if there's nobody in here, the live will always be around. All right. And meanwhile, if you in here, go ahead and holler at me. Let me know how your Sunday went, man. Sunday definitely went good for me. Got my waves out. Great church service talking about favor. All 2026 talking about favor with the Lord. So today was a good day for me. And I see the NFL games going on. So I know people might be watching the playoffs, but to each his own. You either want to change your life with investing, or you want to watch the playoffs. Either one, to me, don't change my mindset. We're gonna keep on dishing it out. We're gonna keep loving others. All right. So it looks like we got a couple viewers in here too. So let me see. I just got a message. Let me go ahead and reply. Then we're gonna get right into this. Sorry about that. Real quick. All right. All right, cool. So we're about to just get right into it. As people join in and people come and go throughout this stream, you know, we'll talk more and more about. We'll recalibrate on where we were at. But I definitely want to get started on this. I don't want to delay too much time. But yeah, people will come and go. The video will live forever. Okay, because I won't delete it. I'll keep it up. With that being said, first and foremost, I want to give honor to God, who is truly the head of my life. You know, in this journey, in this world, in this life, you know, there's no way I'll be able to do it without God. I just listening to some music, and I was listening to that. I never would have made it, because I literally never would have, because I was deep in sin, and, you know, all the things that I was doing. I'm not even going to go down memory lane. I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to think about all the stuff I was doing. But, RJ, if he's still on here, but, you know, God made a way. And he brought me out of those ways, and I'm definitely more in a better, brighter light, you know. And I want people to see his image in me, you know what I mean? When people see me, I want people to see God in me, okay? So, you know, I'm thankful for God who's the head of my life, because he brought me out of my sin and brought me out of my sinful nature, you know. And not saying I'm perfect by any means, you know. I still have a lot of different things going on, you know. I'm still no perfect. I'm not Jesus, okay? I'm not perfect. But I'm better than I was yesterday. I'm better than I was last year. I'm better than I was in 2023, because I'm more in his image and I'm more mindful of the things of God, right? So, with all that being said, honor is due to him before we even start this stream. And I'm thankful for all of you guys that come in, tune in, you know, whether you're in this live or whether you are catching this video after the live and it's already uploaded. I'm thankful for you, because first and foremost, you know, this is for you. This isn't for me. You know what I mean? This is not for me. I have a portfolio. I have an account. I don't have one with crypto.com, and crypto.com is actually a very good brokerage to have, or exchange to have for crypto. It's one of the main ones. So it's going to be fun walking through their steps, seeing their site alongside with you guys. But this isn't for me, because I'm already situated. This is for you guys. I want everyone to be able to get in on this wealth transfer that is going to take place once we start talking about digital assets. And we could talk about all of that stuff as we go as well. But, you know, the most important part is getting set up, setting that foundation. There's no point of us talking about investing and me going live talking about investing and showing charts if we have not built the foundation. And the foundation starts here with our account, okay? So if you're in this live and you have not made an account to invest into crypto with, we are going to be operating today out of crypto.com, okay? And we're just going to go through everything as far as making an account. Literally, we're just going to make an account together. We're going to go from A to Z. You guys ask me questions as we go. Ask me things that you may have questions on. We're going to talk about everything that relates to setting up an account, doing your first purchase, buying your first token. I'm actually going to purchase tokens too on this portfolio and build this portfolio as well, not as my main one, but as another one with y'all, okay? So we're just gonna go down that road today. So we're gonna be operating out of crypto.com today. So if you're making your account, go ahead. If you're on your phone, if you're on your iPad, if you're on your laptop, if you're on your computer, wherever you are, whatever you're using, go ahead on crypto.com. If you're on your phone, you know, go to the app crypto.com, and you should be able to see this. And of course, we're not going to log in because we don't have an account just yet, but we're going to sign up, okay? We're going to hit sign up. So we're going to go right to sign up, and then we're going to just start making an account. Hold on, I'm getting the FaceTime right now. What up, Brody? I'm on live.
I'm on bad, bro. We just calling for your YouTube TV.
Oh, I don't even got that. I got the homies.
Come on, Trey.
Hey, pull up to the live though, man. Forget the football. Come learn how to invest, man. We're setting up an account right now. So that's all up to y'all, man.
I'm with a bunch of them, man.
Yo, what up with y'all boys? Not much. But alright, I'm gonna holler at y'all, man, because I'm on this live right now. Alright. Back to the live real quick. So we're gonna go ahead and start setting up this portfolio, okay? So I'm gonna use my email account to start this. So as we look here, you see it says individual and business. Business is obviously if you're setting up a crypto account for a business, for a brand, okay? We're gonna set this up individually because we're gonna set this up for ourselves, our own person, okay? So we'll hit individual and we'll do an email. So I'm just gonna do this email right here. And I could just continue with Gmail, but a lot of people might not be using Gmail, so I'm just gonna type my Gmail right here, okay? Or create with email. And we'll go ahead and go through all of this. Mark out the bicycles. These be tripping me up sometimes though, especially the crosswalk ones. I'm not gonna lie, the crosswalk ones of these always trip me up because they all like they be trying to get you with them. I ain't gonna lie, they try to get you, and I'm not a robot. All right, so they are sending me an email confirmation code, and I'm gonna go ahead and enter that. Let's make sure too, if we're following along, you know, if I'm moving too fast, let me know if I'm moving too fast, okay? If you have questions, go ahead and comment questions, and go ahead and put your questions in the comments, because this is important. This is the most important step to making your account. You have to have, okay, you have to have an account to buy anything, okay? And I'm gonna put my phone number in, but I'm not gonna leak my number, okay? We're not gonna leak my number on the stream. I gotta be mindful. I don't want to leak my number, and I don't want to leak my socials, okay? So we're gonna be taking it slow either way. So, all right, we're gonna enter the numbers in. All right, cool, and then we're gonna create a passcode. Okay, let me not do that on there too, okay? But you see what steps we are on right now. All right. And for those of you wondering, I have 2 monitors, so I could slide this right back over to my other monitor as soon as I finish up, okay? Just like that, just slide it right back over. All right, cool. And then verify identity, agree and continue. Oh, this is probably gonna be difficult to do on my PC, right? My ID card. And then stuff like this, I'm not gonna lie, okay? A lot of people never read these disclosures and agreements, okay? But me, I don't read them either. But I do go right to ChatGPT and I just comment. And I'm gonna show y'all how to use that ChatGPT real quick too. And I don't wanna load up all my combos on there. Okay. And then we're gonna just ask ChatGPT. We're just gonna copy and paste what we just got from there and tell them break it down for me. Just to make sure everything is safe in here, okay? Okay. So, it is gonna look. All I did was copy and paste the terms and agreements to ChatGPT, which I recommend you always do anytime you sign up for anything, because Apple gets us all the time with this. This is how data gets leaked, because they got our access, right? So we'll just go through this real quick, what this actually means, blah, blah, blah. They want to see your face and voice, yep. Government ID, they scan. This is all normal activity, of course, and I already know Crypto.com is pretty reliable, so I'm not really too, you know, concerned with what they got going on. But it's always just good to practice these things, right? How long they keep it? Up to 3 years, 365 days. So they don't even keep it for too long. The real trade-off, this is the moment you choose access to real-world finance or total anonymity. Yeah, so it literally says right here, you cannot have tokenized real estate, on-chain bonds, regulated yield, RWA exposure without KYC, okay? We have to do these sorts of processes in all of this. So that's just the identity verification, okay? So we're going to know we're all good to do that. So then we're just going to go ahead and accept. And like I said, I don't personally read those things, but I do be like, okay, let me go ahead and do that, right? Let me put that right in ChatGPT. All right, cool. Continue on your phone. Here's how to do it. Send a secure link to your phone, open the link, and complete the task. All right, cool. So I got to go ahead and, I was going to say, it's going to be hard for me to do it. The camera, put my ID on here, but we got the link to my phone right here, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. All right. And then we just, this is just like any other verification you're going to be setting up, right? So on my phone, it's asking me for my ID, which I got right here in my wallet. So I'm going to be setting that up. If you're following along, make sure you do the same thing on this live. If you're not watching on a live, feel free to pause the video whenever you need to catch up, okay? So we're just going to take a picture of the front, and then we'll take a picture of the back, because this is all stuff that's needed, right? We'll upload it. And then upload the back. Then I gotta do my face. Alright. Upload successful. Verify your identity. Let me make sure I don't show my info on here before. I don't want to get leaked, okay? Alright. And now it says our team is look that fast. They just reviewed my documentation and boom, we already set up to go. Let's go. Your account is verified. Take your first steps, okay? So, we'll just say if you're just not getting started, I already know this, a lot of stuff on here, but this is my first time using crypto.com. As you see, I've never made an account, none of that. So I'm going to step along with y'all. We're going to go ahead and put new to crypto, and then we're going to start exploring, okay? So, wow, crypto.com looks very different. So you see here, let's go ahead and go right through here. So we got home. This is our home page, so our main page. You could trade, deposit money on here, okay? We got the list of different coins right here. Nice. And then let's see if they got ZBCN on here. Yup, ZBCN's right here. So this is the token that we will be buying today, okay? We're going to buy this today on the live. Well, I am. Remember, this as a disclaimer. Let me go ahead and throw my disclaimer in there. This is not financial advice, okay? This is all educational purposes. I'm showing you guys how to set up your exchange account to purchase tokens, and I'm showing you guys an actual purchase that I'm doing. I am going to buy this token right now. I am going to buy 50,000 tokens of ZBCN on this live. I know that sounds like a lot, but that's not a lot of money for real. But I'm going to buy 50,000 tokens on this live. I'm going to transfer the money from my actual account, from my actual crypto account to this account via stablecoin, so that we could see the process, we could see what it's fixing, and we could see what the future actually looks like. So going from stablecoin to stablecoin, we're going to see how all this looks, okay? But before we do that, we're just going to go ahead and go through this crypto.com site, you know what I mean? And I've never even been on here now. So they got a prediction, I guess. I don't even know what any of this means. What is this? See, I told you, I go to ChatGPT. I'm not predicting. We're not predicting nothing. I don't know about none of that. Okay, so here's where we can find our account. So we can see our crypto wallet. We could buy crypto right here. Okay, you could USD account, Google Pay, credit debit card. You can add a payment method here. Okay, and I'm assuming if we're on our phones, they have Apple Pay as well. Things of that nature. We sell here, but we haven't purchased anything to buy or sell. Okay, I see some more people joined up. If you're new to the live, we just started creating this crypto.com account. For you to catch up, all you have to do is just go hit the sign up, and then, you know, just have your ID on standby and make sure that you follow all those steps, and you'll be right here where we are, okay? So, and then we can see the market right here. So it's just like seeing coin market cap, which we have loaded right here. They have a nice little market of everything, okay? Let's see. Yes, sir, they do take Apple Pay. Facts. Okay, good to know. Appreciate you, Andre, my brother. But yeah, so you can put Apple Pay on here too. You can Apple Pay. You could get it by any means, okay? It's just like if you was going to go DoorDash. I know people love DoorDashing. You know what I mean? You could buy crypto just like how you buy that plate from Panda, like me, because I love Panda. Very nice and user-friendly platform for beginners and pros. See, so this is perfect. This is a perfect stream for us to be going through this journey together, because it sounds like it's user-friendly. It's easy to see as we're going through it, you know what I mean? They have a lot of good features on here. Like you can see the whole market nice and easy. They got a staking center. So what staking is, look at this. So staking is basically, if we were to buy a token, right, we could stake our coin. So that basically means whatever coin we buy, we lock all our coins up for that business so that we could take our coins out of circulation. That way, it makes the tokens more valuable in the long run. So it's basically saying, hey, I believe into this company, into these tokens that I've invested into for the long term. And I'm not just trying to get rich quick off of these. You know, I'm actually trying to hold these. I'm actually trying to believe the vision you guys are putting out. So you guys, I will stake mine. And you can earn money back on them. You can earn yield back on staking, okay? So it depends on what coins you stake. It looks like we have Chronos right here. Chronos is Crypto.com's token. Okay, we know what Ethereum is. ETH, one of the biggest tokens out, second biggest market cap wise after Bitcoin, of course. More. Discover app. They got Crypto.com Visa cards. They got derivatives right here. Multiply your profit potential by forecasting crypto prices. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really doing that. I don't play guessing games when it comes to price prediction. I look at charts and I execute and I buy and I hodl. Hodl means hold, okay? And then we got Rewards Plus, a loyalty program which grants you special perks and benefits. Crypto Earn. Grow your holdings passively with 20 plus tokens available. Okay, so a lot of good features on here, just like Andre pointed out. It's very nice and user friendly. Okay, so what we're gonna end up doing here. Okay, so step one, we've already completed step one. This is the easiest step. It's the easiest step when you're doing it. It's the hardest step to do when you don't understand what the heck's going on, right? So it's a pretty straightforward step, as far as we are getting our portfolio underway. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's search up USDC. Okay, so what USDC is, a stable coin. Okay, so what a stable coin is a coin that is back to the US dollar. So think of the dollar on the blockchain. Okay, so this is how we actually move our money. So if I were trying to cash out you some money, okay, that wasn't going to be changing in price. That's basically how I would send you stablecoin, okay? If I were sending you Bitcoin, Bitcoin price is always moving. It's volatile. Price changes. There's buyers, there's sellers. So price moves on Bitcoin. Stablecoin such as USDC is 1-to-1 with the dollar. So it's all, if I send you one token of USDC, I'm sending you $1. If I send you one token of Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin priced at right now? Okay. Bitcoin is worth 87,000. So if I send you one token of Bitcoin, I just sent you 87,000. Okay, so that's how that works. So we're gonna look at this USDC, and now what I'm gonna end up doing here is, you see it's worth $1 right here. What I'm gonna end up doing is trying to find my wallet address. Okay, and what is gonna happen, I'm gonna send myself USDC from my other portfolio. That way we can load up some money in this account, and then we go ahead and we're going to buy our first token. Okay, so bear with me as I look around real quick, because I have not ever done this before. Okay, open a USD account, deposit USD. And I ain't read the terms and conditions, and I'm not going to right now, but you know what it is. We just go put that right in ChatGPT. Okay, let's see, deposit USD. It's a deposit. Okay, so I'm not doing any of that. But these are different ways you can deposit it. And most times when I do it on my actual, because I use Uphold and I have a ledger and then I transfer the ledger. When I do that, I usually just do it right here through my debit card, okay? So let me go ahead on my phone real quick. And we're going to go ahead and send us some. I'm going to download Crypto.com on my phone. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my wallet address, and then we're going to send some money to here, walk us through that process. And then we're going to buy our first tokens. I plan on buying, like I said, if you guys are new to the stream, we just made our account. I plan on buying 50,000 tokens of ZBCN on this portfolio first and foremost, just to get a payment in and show you guys how that all works. And then, I don't know, maybe I will build this up, as just a side portfolio. But ZBCN is my main one that I'm rocking with right now. So we're just gonna keep making that happen. All right, so if you're in here and you're making your account, let me know what's going on with you. Are you on this page that we're on? Are you on this homepage, or are you still making an account, or what's going on? Because I see we have a couple viewers in here right now. And bear with me, I'm logging into the account right here on my phone. All right. Bought some USDC. Okay, so you already bought some. Cool. So now that basically when you already got the money in USDC, that's pretty much the equivalent to having buying power. So now you're ready to buy some tokens. So that's perfect. You're ready to buy some tokens. So we're gonna go ahead and get into something. Once I could figure out how to I could transfer this. I don't know how to really work USDC as much as I know how to work my other ones. Yes, sir. I need to figure out how to find my crypto wallet. Cash accounts. Current wallet, access in the app. I'm about to just use my debit card and get on there too then, because if this is... All right, cool. They just sent me the email now. I should be able to log in. All right, cool. Now they sent, yeah, here we go. All right, cool. Now I got it up here on my phone. This might be easier to see on the phone to do too. So let's see. Oh, and I see you could buy. So I don't see that on here, but on the phone I see they got stocks on here too. I don't really see on this one. I don't. Oh, I see the Nvidia and stuff right there. Let me see market. Yeah, I don't see, but on here it's got a stock section, so it looks like you could purchase stocks on here too. That's pretty dope. All right. So now, let's try to find this wallet, and then I'm gonna go ahead and send myself some bread, and we gonna buy some ZBCN. All right, cool. So I'm on my Uphold account right now. I'm about to get some ZBCN on there. And let's see, how much is 50,000 tokens? All right, so about 150. So we're gonna end up sending myself 150 so that we can buy these tokens. Okay. All right. Now, transact. This is why I like Uphold. Uphold a lot smoother. I ain't gonna lie. Here's DC. Multiple networks. CC coin. Nice. Let's go right here to crypto. Supported pair, no balance. Never cash or deposit crypto first. I don't know how to find my wallet address on this crypto.com. So we might just have to just add pay. We just might have to add bank account method. Add card method, and then we just gonna do it from there. Okay. Let's see if we find it. It's usually like a receive button on here. I don't see nothing about no receiving nothing. And if I'm tripping out, if somebody on here know and I know where that's at, you let me know. But unfortunately, I can't find it. So what's finna end up happening now is we just about to add payment method, okay? So we're just gonna end up 150. Ain't gonna buy that. Oh, hold on, I ain't got Google Pay. Let me go ahead. Oh, hold on, we getting a call from Andre. Yo.
Yo, it should be like go to deposit.
Deposit, perfect. You talking about the wallet address, right?
Yeah.
Oh me, okay. Deposit. USDC coin. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's right here on USDC coin.
Yes, sir. Got into the coin.
Deposit using your wallet address. Nice. Perfect. Yup. Shout out Andre. Appreciate you, GOAT.
No problem, thank you.
All right, cool. This actually ended up working out because then I was gonna have to send a whole nother 100 on here. All right, cool. So now we got this wallet address loaded up here on crypto.com. Nice. So I already got my USDC wallet address already ready, and I got it ready to send. As we see, I got my USDC right there. Okay, I'm gonna send the same 140. But the most important thing, as you see, we got a whole bunch of different networks that you could send it through because USDC is a stable coin that lives on and operates off of different networks. So I have to make sure when I click on one of these networks, it aligns with the network that I use on my Uphold account. Okay, so we're gonna hit multiple networks, and you see we just gotta find a network that aligns with what's on crypto.com. So let's see one that they both have, and we're gonna send it through there. Okay, so they both have Base and Sui. They have all the same ones for the most part. All right, so we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go with. Let's just go with Base. Okay, we'll go with Base. All right, and we'll go max right here. That I'm gonna send preview withdraw, and then this wallet address is the most important part. Estimated arrival time under 27 minutes. Hold on, let's see which one is actually the fastest one. Let me see what network moving the fastest. Probably gonna be like something like ETH. They got XRP Ledger on here. I don't. So Ethereum at 8 minutes. Solana is at 5 minutes. Let me see if they got Solana on here too. Cause I'm trying to find the fastest transaction time. This part is very important. If you choose the wrong network, the money will be lost. Very slim chance to get the funds back. I know I lost money doing it before. Facts. If you do not have the right network, like you choose two different networks, like if I choose Solana, but on here I'm sending to ETH's network, yeah, that money's chopped. You know what I mean? That's why it's very important. And me, when I'd like to do it, I like to try to find the fastest network. So it doesn't look like Crypto.com has XRP Ledger on here, which would be probably one of the fastest ones. So unfortunately, we can't use that one. Oh, yep, here we go. We're gonna use Stellar XLM. Perfect. Yep, they both got Stellar on here. Cool. That's perfect. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy this wallet address, okay? And then I'm gonna email myself this wallet. I'm gonna email myself that code real quick, copy and paste, and we're gonna send it right over there. Trials and errors, but the W's overweigh the losses. Facts. But shoot, if that's something we could prevent, we gonna for sure try to prevent it. Like make sure we are on point when it comes to watching and making sure we're sending it to the right network, because that will kill us if we do not send it to the right network, right? You'd be mad and you're gonna want to give up, but you can't give up though. Okay, that's why we're here learning today. And I want to say another shout out to Andre for helping me find that dang on wallet address, because man, this is my first time using Crypto.com too. Like I said, I use Uphold, so that whole Crypto.com was brand new to me. Okay. So yeah, let's double check. We got Stellar right here, Stellar Lumens XLM. That's another token that we can invest in as well, and which I do. But in this case, we're going to be using this network to send this. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this wallet address into the wallet address that I'm sending from. So let me go ahead to my email. And go ahead and copy and paste on my phone. Okay. Copy. We're going to copy that wallet address in real quick. And then I'm going to also copy that memo in there as well. Boom. And it should look like this. So on Upload, this is what it looks like from sending from 1 to 1. All right. Remember to add the memo too, or your deposit will be lost. Okay, and that's what we did. We add that memo and that deposit. Now, next. All right, so it says settlement time is 4 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and send that. And look at that. That network fee is only 10 cents. So to be able to send it from 1 to 1, it's literally 10 cents. So that's pretty smooth. Let's double check, make sure this all lines up pretty well. Yep. And we'll confirm withdrawal. All right, asking me for my verification from my phone, which I love about Uphold. Shout out Uphold. All right, and it said 4 minutes that it should send through on this XLM network. We'll see how fast it really goes though. I only send on XLM network XLM. So like from my portfolio, from my Uphold to my ledger, I always send XLM, and it usually goes pretty fast. Like I've never waited too long. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and back to our homepage, and then we'll just see when it lands, and then we'll be ready to buy some more. So. All right. Any questions, comments, and concerns while we wait these 3 to 4 minutes that it's telling us about? And if we're following along, do we all got our portfolios ready and loaded to go? Uh-oh. I just lost the chat. I don't know what I just did. There we go. All right. So I just got an email saying that it's sent to from my Uphold. Boom. And there we go. So let me go ahead and move myself. Okay, I'm gonna lock myself right there, and then boom, just like that, as you see, we already got it loaded in. So just like that, we got our 146 USD. I transferred that from my Uphold portfolio to my new Crypto.com portfolio, and now we have buying power in this USDC. So with that being said, you could either, and you see right here, transaction history, it shows what network I use, Stellar Lumens. It shows how much was received and sent right here underneath the chat. $144 worth, 145 USDC. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to buy our first token. And if you're new to this, we just made an account, set up everything. We were on Crypto.com, starting an account up, and we signed up and we deposited some bread. And now I'm going to buy our first asset on here. Okay. So before I buy ZBCN, I want to actually talk about what it is real quick, just in case you want to make that decision too. Once again, not financial advice, but just what I'm doing, and you can feel free to tag along. And I would love for you to know what this token truly is. Okay, so what ZBCN is the parent token for Zebec Network. What Zebec Network plans on tackling in this new system that we have, this digital asset realm, is they're trying to be over the payroll system, payroll infrastructure. So think about it like this. We get paid hourly, but we get paid bi-weekly. Does that make sense? We get paid hourly, but we get paid bi-weekly. So we go to work and we're getting paid on the hour, but we don't get paid every 2 weeks until every 2 weeks. Okay. So they're actually coming to address that problem, fix that problem. It's all coming from and stemming from an outdated system called ACH, automated holding, and that is just something that was created by a group of governors and bankers in California back in the 70s, and they were like, hey, we need to find a better way to play our employees so we're not just giving them paychecks. Okay, so how can we do that? They created a batching system. So they batch in all their employees checks every 3 days under a 2-week span, and they pay you. Okay, so this is an outdated system that came around before we had internet, before any of the things that we are doing now was around. So it's an outdated system. So I look at that, I'm like, hey, okay, this is something that could be fixed. So their plan is to stream real-time payroll, okay? And they have real government alliances. They have great partnerships. They have great custodial. They're actually about to be rolling out a super app. They're doing a lot of different things, okay? And a lot of people do not know about them, okay? So when we look at ZBCN, this is a token with a lot of upside. You see it's worth 0.002. It's not even a penny, okay? So this is a great asset to look at, and it's the perfect one to buy for the purpose of this stream, okay? As we look, market supply, max supply is 100 billion. They're right at 99.99. I think the last batch is being released in March, and after that, everything will be out there, okay? And we're looking at this like, you know, this is a pretty asymmetric investment. This is something that fixes a problem in this digital asset world, and this is something that, you know, we can make a potential upside to, because we're looking at a price like this. We could buy 50,000 tokens today. Once this, you know, theoretically hits $1, that's a $50,000 return that we're getting on something that we just dropped $100 in creating this account, right? So that's why I definitely want to buy them. I'm bullish on them. And you see right here is a Beck Network, is a Solana-based platform that facilitates movement of real-world value. It offers integrated products such as real-time payroll apps, on-chain payments, infrastructure, and network deepen, allowing the seamless communication and transactions across platforms. ZBCN serves as the governance and utility token of the Zebek network, and its holders have the voting rights on decisions that affect the network and ecosystem, okay? So as much tokens as we accumulate as ZBCN, we are shareholders, we have voting rights, okay? And that's why I'm stacking up, okay? My Uphold account, I'm stacked up on here. So like, I might even just start stacking over here too. This might be like, you know, once this touches $1, I'll just stake all my Uphold. I'll stake all my Uphold tokens, and then once this touches $1, you know, I could go ahead and rinse and repeat over here. Take some you know, some profit out, and then put some profit back in and re-up with the profit, and then also be able to have some profit for a keepsake, right? So it's cool to be able to do this on the live as well. So with all that being said, I wanted to go ahead and just give us a little background story of what exactly ZBCN is, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to actually buy some ZBCN. So let's go back to the home page real quick. And as you see, we've got some money loaded up in here already on our USDC account right here. Boom. Okay, we already got some. So we should be able to buy anything now. So let's see. ZBCN is literally, like I said, it's not even a penny, okay? It's very, very cheap. So we got 146. So now we go ahead and we're just going to put all 146 that we transferred over here into ZBCN. So that's 49,000 tokens, okay? 49,000 tokens, and we're buying of ZBCN right here for $146 at a trading fee of $1.16 USD. Why does the method say Google Pay? I don't know, because we're not doing Google Pay. All right, let me see. There you go. Switch that over to crypto. Now, oh, I see how they work. Okay. So on here right now, to buy this ZBCN, you don't put the dollar amount, okay? You see, it says a minimum limit is 348 ZBCN. So you have to put the amount of tokens you want to buy. So in this case, we're going to buy 49,000 tokens. And you see 144 USDC is equivalent to 49,000. So we have 145 as we just transacted from one brokerage to another. And then all we're going to do is just go ahead and hit buy. And you see right here, boom, it shows us how much we're getting, 49,000. It has a little timer right there, method, USDC, total cost, 146. And then we'll just go ahead and confirm. Oh, failed. Okay. That's that tax on there. Let's just do 48,000 there. All right, and there we go. We just bought 48,000 tokens of ZBCN on this Crypto.com portfolio. And it looks like that first one had failed through because of the little tax on there. It was like $1. It was like 1.1 tokens tax that made it go over the amount we transferred. So we end up just putting ZBCN in here. And now we got 48,000 tokens sitting in this portfolio, okay? Worth about $139, okay? And then we have $2 right here. So now as we're looking at it, this is something that we want to look at, like, okay, cool, what does the charts look like on here, right? And this is where chart framework comes into big play, because now it shows you your best prices to enter at, okay? Oh, I just pressed ZBCN. All right. So we're looking at something like ZBCN, and all my red zones are going to be my buy zones, okay? And the green are take profit zones. Like, you know, if we get up here, we pull back, this is where people are trying to take profit. This is where people are trying to take profit. I won't be taking profit here. I'm going to stay in here until we get, you know, to $1. I'm long-term on ZBCN. I plan on holding ZBCN for the next 10 years, okay? But I do plan on heavy profit taking zones, like maybe like $1, a cent. You know, maybe I'll take some profit at those spots. But as far as that, okay, not going to do it. But you see, we're right under this take profit zone. So this was a perfect time to even buy anyways. I bought a lot of tokens down here in this box, you know what I mean? And then back earlier in the year, I was down here as well. So it's very good to just buy lower, because the lower we are buying, the more that $146 could have bought, okay? So like if we were buying down here, that $146 could have bought more like 100,000 tokens rather than 48,000 tokens. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's important to buy low and not buy high. The higher you buy, the less tokens you're getting with the amount of money you're spending, okay? So now we're pretty much set. We're in position. Everything we want to do is long term from here on out, okay? And that was pretty much, you know, how to even get an account started and brought up, okay? And now it's the same thing. So like, we could either buy stuff with our stable coins. We could either buy stuff with our debit card, credit cards. The way that I recommend to do things, okay, and this is how I also purchase tokens as well, is I'll come on here every check, okay? I have a budget plan for my checks. And let's say I got X amount of money that I'm going to be putting aside for crypto. Then I just load it up into my stable coin, okay? So I'll load up, let's say, okay, I'm putting $700 in my portfolio. Instead of, which I used to do early on in my investing journey, instead of dropping $700 in the market immediately, so like I just got paid today, right? Now I got my $700. Now I'm going to put $300 in ZBCN. I'm going to put $200 in XRP. I'm going to put a $150 in Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. Instead of that, I'll put all $700 into this USDC. That way I only pay that heavy tax fee once, and then I'll wait for these tokens to hit buy zones, okay? So, for instance, if ALGO was up here, I have 700 in buying power ready to go. Once it comes down to a cheaper price I want to buy, I'll buy it with the money that I have in my stablecoin. So sometimes, you know, two checks stack on top of each other. So I might put 700 twice into my stablecoin. So now I have $1,400 in my stablecoin because, you know, market's been running up. It's not buy time. It's time to just enjoy the seeds that I've already bought. But then in a time like this where everything's in buy zones, okay, like you see right here, this is coming down to another buy zone. I'll wait for this to come down here. Then I'll load up whatever I want to load up in there. Okay, same thing. I'll wait. And then if it's in these positions, I'll buy then. Okay? So everything is pretty bearish right now because the markets are down. So everything is right where we want them to be as far as the crypto realm. But that is how I best invest my money when I get paid. I load it up in stablecoin and I wait for the perfect opportunity, and then I get right into position. Okay? And that's probably one of the best ways to do it. That's the way the whales do it, the smart money do it, the institutions do it. You just hold your buying power, and then once everything is on sale, once people are fearful, once people are not trying to buy, that is when you look in the mirror and say, hey, these are the cheapest prices I could buy it, where I could get the most tokens in this moment. So I'm just going to buy right now, okay? So that's the psychology here with investing into crypto, and that's how you set your portfolio up. So I plan on sending this out to people as time goes on and people coming across this, and we're getting in our groove into investing, because this is step one. Okay, there's no point of talking about charts and talking about the best token to buy. Like, why would I be talking about things to buy if we don't have the foundation to buy on, right? So this is definitely the best way to go for the live for today, as far as breaking down how to start this account, right? And then also we're just gonna kind of look at some charts now, because now as we're in this economy of crypto and digital assets, and we have the ability to buy, now it's good to understand how does the charts correlate into this. Like, a lot of times, yeah, if you don't really care too much, you don't have to know the charts, understand the charts, read the charts, look at the charts every day. Okay, you could just look at price and be like, this is a good time to buy, or you could just dollar cost average every check. That's the beauty of it. If you're just getting paid and you're like, yeah, I know I'm just going to buy Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's a safe haven. Yeah, I know I'm just going to buy Bitcoin. Cool. I'm just going to put my money in Bitcoin. Boom, 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 boom. That's good to do too. You know what I mean? Because you're averaging it up. So like if you get paid one week, boom, Bitcoin at 80K, Bitcoin up to 90K, you get in there. Bitcoin comes back down to 85K, you get in there. You get the best average price out of all of those entry points. So either way, you're getting into good position. But when you're really into this long term, you want to just buy at the best. You want to buy at the best possible spot. So there's different ways to do it. There's different ways to move through the markets, and everyone finds their own investing style. Your investing style that you end up developing might not be the same as my investing style, which is okay. That's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm just going over my investing style to get your brain moving, so you can see how you might like to do this, so you can see what you might want to get involved in, okay, so that you can understand these charts if you want to go down that road, okay, or if you want to just dollar cost average every check, you can do that too. I did that for the majority when I first started, okay, like 2023, 2024, when I first started, I was just throwing money in. I was just throwing it in. I wasn't too really worried about how much it was coming back or what price it was at. I didn't care. I'm like, okay, I just got paid. Let me go put my money up. And that's a safe thing to do too, because at least you're growing your money over time either way. So now let's look at how this correlates with the Bitcoin, okay? So as we see, Bitcoin's down. Bitcoin is down. Bitcoin was once up here at all-time highs of, it was about 126K, almost 127K, and that was October, and ever since then, we've been coming down, okay? And a lot of people today, this was this previous week's candle, because we're on the weekly chart, okay? So let's go to the daily chart real quick, because today was a bloodbath. Okay, so this daily candle right here that just closed, you see how big that is? That one had a lot of people spooked out, right? Everybody was like, "Whoa, what the heck's going on?" So if you're looking at this daily chart, it's already below all of our indicators, so it's hard to tell, like, hey, what's going on? Anytime you get to a point like you're looking at these charts and you're like, I can't really tell what's happening, zoom out. So we're on the daily chart, we'll zoom out, because now we're gonna see exactly what's going on. We'll go to our week chart, and boom, you see there's an indicator right here that price keeps reacting to every time it touches it. So it's like, okay, wait, what's going on then? This is what's really going on. This isn't a daily battle. This isn't a 30-minute battle. This isn't a 15-minute battle. This is a battle that's been going on from week to week. Weeks this has been happening, right? So we look at this first candle that first ever hit this blue line. What this blue line is 100 EMA, so exponential moving average. It shows us how the 100 EMA shows us the structure of the market. So if the market was perfect, this is how it would be. This is like the perfect line of where the market should be. So now these indicators serve as heavy indications to us investors, buyers, institutions, whales, retail. It shows as institution to, oh no, it's going under here, I'm gonna get out. Oh yes, it's coming here, I'm gonna buy. In this case, price meets structure, okay? This 8 EMA is emotion. So this is more retailer line right here, this yellow line. This is where emotion is. So this is where we are, okay? So like emotion is at 90K. A lot of people want price to be at 90K. A lot of people will be happy with price at 90K, thinking like if it's at 90K, we could get closer to 100K. You know what I mean? That's psychological work. But in this case, we're looking like, dang, why has price been dying since all-time highs? Because it was coming to test this structure, okay? And last time we were at this line, at this indicated structure, was October 2023, okay? When Bitcoin was at 26K, 27K, right? So now this is proven to be where buyers are living. And when we say where buyers are living, we're saying right here, okay, every time price hits this blue line or even comes under this blue line, price goes back up. What does that mean? People buy here. So from this 86K down to this 80K, people step into buy because this is the cheapest price available, the best price to buy Bitcoin at, okay? And the reason why we're looking at Bitcoin is because Bitcoin is kind of showing you the whole market. Bitcoin is more than half of the market cap, okay? Is more than half of the money in crypto right now because everyone understands Bitcoin the most. Most of these utility assets haven't put any real purpose in. That's why we're waiting on that Clarity Act that we discussed last Sunday. And if you weren't there for that, I recommend you go watch that live because we broke down that bill and we looked at that bill and we talked about everything that was in that bill, what we need to fix. We talked about what the bank system is, why the banks are unhappy with this. We talked about all of that. So if you're new to this, go ahead to that video, check that out. We won't cover that today because we're looking at price and we're talking about creating an account, right? So every time it hits this blue line, you see people step in to push price up, push price up, push price up. And then this previous week candle that just closed at 4 o'clock Pacific time, so about an hour, 50 minutes ago, it closed above that line. So now this is a heavy candle right here. We need to see, are buyers going to step in, which happened right at the beginning of this. You see, we only had an hour of this candle, but people stepped in and pushed price up, and we could tell because we could go to this hour candle and I guarantee, look, you see, we starting to get some momentum. This hour candle has 2 minutes left and it's a pretty big green one. You see that? We were dying off that last day of the week for last week, but now we're pushing up. We're testing these EMAs. We could potentially run up to 89K to try to gain some leverage on this hour candle on this hour indicator. Okay, so now going back to the week though, we just want to keep watching price to see exactly what is it doing. Right, that's all that we care about. Like, don't let the media, the news, pages trick you out of positions because you don't really know the market psychology. This is why price is down, because we are driving price down. We as in retailers, because we're getting panicked out, we're selling. Plus the manipulators, the smart money, the money that's really moving the market, they want to buy here. This is their buy zone. They could load up here. This is the best part. Like, if I could buy Bitcoin at 80K, perfect. That's perfect. And then once we run up to 100K, I can make the most upside. So that's why they're buying here. They're trying to scare everybody like, yeah, Bitcoin's dead. Bitcoin's falling. And we fall for the bait every time. Retailers, normal people, we fall for this every time. And then in a week from now, when Bitcoin's running up, Bitcoin's going to start running up. It's going to break 90K. It gets that extra leg from retailers finally like, oh, now I'll buy. Why don't you want to buy when it's on sale? Okay, so that's how we have to look at this. So now the charts is just to see where are people buying at the best price and where are people getting nervous to sell at, okay? And usually it's going based off those indicators, right? It's usually going based off the indicators. So now as we look at all of these charts, we just go through and it's pretty much the same thing. Look at XRP, same thing. Weekly candle is testing out 100 EMA. The difference with XRP is that XRP actually have fallen under this EMA. You see, they're under the 100 EMA. They closed under. So now this week's candle is going to be a retest candle. So if this candle closes above this EMA green, it's a failed retest. That means we're not going to continue falling. That means we could finally break up a little bit. But if we close red under this candle, forming a lower low, so this is a lower low. You see, we wick down here, boom, and then this next candle got lower. It's lower than the previous one. This candle's lower than the previous one, but this isn't a lower low. And then since we didn't see a lower low, guess what? This green candle was a boom boom candle. Then it retested all the way to break structure, but it couldn't break structure. So now we got lower highs. See, this high is lower than this one now. Same thing, lower highs, lower lows. Now we just keep falling. So if this green candle closes red and forms a lower low under this 100 EMA, that's bearish sentiment. We could continue to look to fall down and buy XRP at a better price. So now we're looking at, that's how we look at it. We're not looking at the intraday noise, okay? We're not looking at the intraday noise because we have the main thesis. We need to see, how does this week end? We need to look at XRP and Bitcoin next Sunday. How did this wrap up? How did this unfold? Now we have a better sentiment of what's going on. So right now, the highlight of this week is going to be retest week for crypto. That's what this is. And you got to look at it like this too. It aligns perfectly with what everything's going on. We're talking about a government shutdown this week, right? We're talking about the government could shut down because they're coming to disagreements. What does that mean for crypto? We don't know, because if the government shut down, they're not on the same page. People ain't getting paid. They're not going to be signing no bills. Okay, we got Fed meetings coming up this week. What does that mean? Interest rates are getting cut. So what's going to happen? We have to find out and see. If interest rates get cut or they don't get cut, then we're going to see how people react, and we could either form lower lows, or it could be bullish sentiment and people are excited and ready to go and we're buying, and we don't form lower lows. Now we form higher highs. Now we form lower highs. And now if we start forming those things, well, higher lows. If we start forming those things, this is bullish sentiment, okay? So now we could be ready to try to go up some from where we are, okay? So all of this stuff is aligning up, pretty making sense as we're like looking at the thesis for these charts. It's like, okay, this is also in the red, okay? But as far as Bitcoin and XRP, it's retest week for those, okay? Because they're hitting that 100 EMA. You see, Algo's been under this 100 EMA for a while, okay? They've been under there, okay? Ace Bar also, they've been under the 100 EMA. For them to get above this 100 EMA, they need to break above that 8 EMA first before anything else happens. Okay, same thing here. XDC, they want to get out of this. They want to get out of this bubble they're in. They're going to have to break the 8 EMA. Okay, it's levels to the structure. It's levels to all of this. Same thing here. They're going to have to break that 8 EMA to get to the 100 EMA. So it's a lot of things. And this is XLM right here. This is the network that we just transferred our stable coin on. Okay, so we got some clarity there. Okay. And then this is just the DTF. So this is an index of the top 20. So as we're looking at these charts and we're looking at these tokens, you know, it all aligns. Like, it's retest week for Bitcoin. Okay, we have a lot of news coming out. A potential government shutdown, which could bring bearish news. We have interest rates going to be getting discussed, which could bring bearish or bullish news. We also have a lot of key earnings this week. Apple has earnings week, which a lot of other tech stocks have earnings week. This could also bring bullish or bearish news, okay? So as we're watching all of this unfold and as we're getting in position, it does not change what the future is. And let's talk about the future now. What the future is tokenized assets. We're talking about everything. And if you don't think that's the future, you think I'm a talking head, you think I might not know what I'm talking about. Let's look at some facts real quick, okay? So this is already unfolding, all right? So we're going to go right over here to Real World Assets XYZ, okay? And we're going to view some analytics. Basically, this is going to show us how we could track. Let's go ahead and move me real fast, okay? We're going to move me to right here. This is going to show us how we are tracking all of our tokenized assets already. So there's already tokenized assets in this world, okay? Tokenized assets are already in the world. Whether you believe it or not, it's happening. Trust, okay? And look, distributed asset value, 23.22 billion. There is tokenized assets really out here in the world already, okay? So let's look and see. Let's see, real estate. There's tokenized real estate already, okay? And there's not many. This is the beginning of everything, okay? Let me move me again. Okay? We're going to move me right here. Tokenized real estate. There's $391 million in tokenized real estate right now. Only 58 assets are real estate is tokenized right now, okay? Only 9,700 holders, okay? Only 388 monthly active addresses. Only 10 countries in the world has tokenized real estate right now, okay? And you might look at this and be like, oh, I don't know what that means. This means you could buy a house. You could buy an apartment complex. You can buy a hotel with digital money, the money that we just talked about, stablecoin. You could buy it with a stablecoin, okay? And look, USA only has 11 real estate assets that are on the tokenized market. The total value for that is only $181 million right now. There's 391 million in this sector and tokenized real estate. This is the future, okay? And we don't have any rules or regulation on this yet. So that's why we're behind, okay? That's why we're not front runners. Look, Canada only has one. They have 23 million total value. Mexico has 3 to real estate assets, okay? Dubai, 23. Wait, you can't see because I'm in the way. Let's move me again. Let's move me up here. Dubai has 23 total real estate assets because they have clarity around this. So they already are building tokenized economy out there, okay? They're already building it. And we could look and we could go on here and we could see assets that's in this world that are tokenized. Okay, look, this is something in New Orleans that's tokenized. A tokenized asset in New Orleans. We could see it. It's a building. 3522 Tulane Avenue. I don't know where that is. I don't know what this is. But it's tokenized. So if this was public for all of us, and it was, if we have some regulation in America, we could own percentages of these, okay? Let's look at some stuff in Dubai because they have they have hotels and stuff in Dubai that's ready to go right now, okay? So Dania Beach, I don't know what the heck this is. So it can't be a beach. I know they ain't got no beach tokenized. What are we talking about? It can't be. So let's go right here. Royal Islands, Dubai. Its total asset value is $13 million, okay? $13 million, okay? But this is Dubai Land Department Real Estate. It forms part of Dubai Land Department Real Estate tokenization in that initiative with control all digitizing title deeds to enable compliant fractional ownership and streamlined custody. That's what it says right here, okay? And this is becoming the norm. Okay, this is what the norm is going to be. I want to look at this property real quick. Okay, I want to look and see what it is. Royal Island. I can't even tell what this is. Looks like it's like a hotel or something like that. Yeah, look, they got the Carmen Hotel. This is in Mexico. Some hotel in Mexico we could buy right now. Just how we just transferred that stablecoin, we could buy on this network, Stellar, XLM. And they have the most. They have the most. So this is going to be a big one for tokenizing real estate, okay? So let's go ahead and look and see what this is. Yeah, this is a hotel, the Carmen Hotel. This is pretty nice, too. Yeah, that's pretty nice. 3-star hotel in Mexico. But that's the thing. So now with tokenized real estate, you could own 10% of a hotel in Mexico and be making 10% profit every time people stay in there. Okay? So that's what the world is coming to, okay? Regardless of what we think. Look, commodities been getting tokenized for a minute now. And commodities is a big one on here, okay? You see commodities is already at a $5 billion market cap, 7.72 billion monthly transfer volume, 31,000 active addresses, 192K holders, okay? And Tether, they have gold, USDT. That's the stable coin we were just talking about on there too. They have gold, tokenized gold right here, Tether Holdings, okay? Ticker symbol XAUT. You can buy this. We could buy tokenized gold right now, okay? We could buy that on brokerages. But look at all of this tokenized commodities, okay? This is real. Tokenized stocks. Even stocks has been making their way into the tokenization world. Ondu, they have the most real world assets, okay? 159 when it comes to stock market, okay? 913 million total value, 1.85 billion monthly transfer volume, 108,000 active addresses, 170K. Okay, why are we talking about this, Trey? How did we end up here? Why are we even talking anything about tokenization of real world assets? Because that's what we're investing into when we're buying crypto, okay? We're investing into this becoming a normality. We're investing into the normality of being able to buy real world assets via blockchain, online, not having to fill out paperwork, not having to worry about mortgage rates, not having to worry about middleman, the bank, not having to worry about holidays, not being able to buy, having to wait to get paid. We are investing in that future. Why isn't it coming to pass yet? Why is these bills getting delayed? Because of the banks. The banks are the one that own this system. The banks are the one that gives you those mortgage loans that we talked about last week. The banks are the ones that give you those fees that we talked about last week. The banks are the one that make the money off of holding your money for 1 to 3 days for transfer. The bank is the reason why it takes long for us to receive money. Okay? The banks are the reason why it takes us 2 weeks to get paid. We have to get that in our brains, because as we invest into crypto, quote unquote, which is short for cryptography, okay? So that's why we're going to allude to this as digital assets. When we invest into digital assets, the main goal we're getting to is tokenization of real world assets, okay? Corporate bonds, everything. Non-US government debt. We're tokenizing debt. We're tokenizing institutional funds. We're tokenizing private credit. We're tokenizing stable coins, okay? Stable coins was the first one to come out. So circle right here, USDC. That is exactly what we just used. Tether Holdings, that's the #1 stable coin in the world, okay? These are all RLUSD, that's Ripple, XRP stable coin, okay? So stable coins is a version of tokenization. Trey, how are stable coins a version of tokenization? Because it's tokenizing an actual currency. For instance, USDC is tokenized dollar by Circle. So we're looking at USDC right here. It's a tokenized form of a US dollar. Tether. What is Tether? What is the stable coin? It's a tokenized version of the dollar presented by Tether, presented by USDC, okay? Presented by Circle, presented by these different banks. They're tokenizing the dollar. What does that mean? That means the government won't have to keep printing money, driving up inflation. So no, tokenization, stable coins aren't coming to replace the dollar by any means. This is what we talked about last week. We're going to touch on it now. But this is what we talked about last week. Crypto and stable coins aren't coming to replace the US dollar. It's coming to enhance the US dollar. It's coming to back the US dollar. The way it will be replacing this dollar is if this was saying pesos DC. Okay, if this was saying this was pesos dollar currency. If these banks weren't backing US, then we could look and be like, wait a minute, the dollar is not going to be the main currency. It's not going to be the global currency anymore. This is getting weak. No, these banks are making their tokenized dollar backing USD, meaning that US dollar is still going to be the front runner for the world, okay? So with all that being said, why are we investing in crypto? Why did we just make a portfolio? Why did we just do all of that stuff? Because we are investing in the future of tokenized assets, okay? That is what we believe in. That is what this is, okay? This isn't anything else other than that. And once we all get on that page that is the normality of everything, I'm telling you, life changes. Life changes, because now you'll start seeing the world a little different, okay? You'll start seeing it different. We just broke down all of these sections that are actual asset classes for real world assets of tokenization, okay? So now, as we take this step forward, and as we just created this account today, okay? And for those of you that were in the live here today, you know, and you followed along, appreciate you. And I'm glad that you were able to do that. But if you're watching this video after the fact, that's even better, because that means you went out to search for this. You went out to learn, hey, how do I make this account? And not only did you learn to make an account, you learned why we're making an account. Because of this right here, real world assets. Okay, this is the real thing. This is happening whether you believe it or not. Okay, we look at this real estate. We look at real estate. Dubai is up on the scoreboard. Okay, they got 23 assets. Everybody else, Spain up there got 9. We got 11. Canada got 1. Mexico got 3. These are the countries that are trying to win the race right now. Remember how we hear Trump talking about, oh, America's going to be the crypto capital of the world, yada, yada, yada. Those are countries he's in bed with that's trying to race, okay? That's his competition right there, because they already are having their way. They're already giving people access to these tokenized assets, tokenized real estate, okay? We all have access to tokenized commodities. That was one of the first ones, okay? Stablecoin was realistically the first tokenized thing we could get, because it's a tokenized version of the dollar. All right. So with all of these things factored in today, all right, now it's time to do research on coins, and we're gonna be wrapping this live up here soon. But now it's time to do research on coins. Now that we got our account set up and we're ready to go, and we understand why we're investing into this stuff, it's time to do research on coins. And It's like, well, where do I start with that? We could go make a whole series on these videos, okay? But the best place for you to start is by dedicating 30 minutes a day on learning something new in the market, okay? You can start at Bitcoin. Learn about Bitcoin. Because I could tell you about Bitcoin, but there's nothing like going out there to find it yourself and then learn it yourself and then understand it yourself. There's nothing like it, okay? I could tell you about Bitcoin. I could tell you that Bitcoin's the scarcest asset in the world. There's only 21 million tokens. It's digital gold. It's high volume. You can't print it. You can't create it. You gotta mine the tokens. I could tell you all this stuff. But if you don't go read it and you don't truly understand it, you don't even know what's the significance of it only being 21 million tokens. You don't know. You can't feel it like I feel it. You know what I mean? So the best thing is to dedicate at least 30 minutes a day to reading up on some stuff. You know what I mean? How do you read up on some stuff? We got books. There's plenty of books. We got books right here. Okay. Let me see. I got a lot of different books. We could read this right here. The Truth About Crypto. Okay. This tells you about the true crypto market right here. I've read this book. It's very good. Rick Edelman did his due diligence on this. Okay. Very good book right there. You can read books. You could go to Barnes and Nobles. You could go on ChatGPT. You could ask AI. You could go on Google. You could go on Bing. You could go on X. You could go on Instagram. The research is out there. It's 2026. We got plenty of opportunity to do the research, right? We got plenty of opportunity to take these steps in the right direction, okay? So the next thing up after making the account, we done passed level 1. So, like, you know what I mean? If you made the account today, you got to clap it up for yourself because now you are officially in the game. Now you officially have some skin in the game. Now you can officially say, I could own digital assets because you can own these cryptocurrencies. All these currencies, the ZBCN we bought, XRP, ALGO, HBAR, these are all digital assets. This is all digital currency, okay? So now you have a foundation. So how do you enhance the foundation is the next question. Research, okay? You put that time in to research to enhance the foundation. And then after you enhance the foundation, now people will come up on live like, hey, Trey, you heard about this? You heard about this token? And I might have not because I don't, look at all these tokens. I remember we did this one live. Look at this. There's 90 pages of tokens. It's like 8,000. Look at this. It's 8,900 tokens. I don't know all these tokens. And of course, not every token is going to succeed, but if you find a token with true utility like ZBCN, we've talked about ZBCN utility, fixing real-time payroll. Everyone hates getting paid every 2 weeks. If we can manage our money faster, we would much rather do that. That's a real-world asset, okay? Think about it. A good place to start is these commodities, okay? What's going to make these happen? What's going to make these asset classes work? What's going to make tokenized stocks work? What currency, what crypto coin gonna do that? What's gonna make real estate work? For instance, let's look at XLM. You feel me? XLM is the leader of all this. So let's go ahead and look at networks. Networks, boom, right there. Look at that. This is XLM network right here. Stellar, boom. Okay, their token is XLM. Okay, so we look at Stellar, we like, okay, cool. They're one of the top players in tokenized real estate right now. So they're gonna play a big role in tokenized real estate when this becomes a norm. So we can invest in that. What's XLM price at right now? It's off the top of my head, it has to be at like 21 cents because I have XLM. Okay, because I already know about XLM. But let's look at XLM, Stellar Network. It's at 20 cents now. It's down. It's at 20 cents. You see, look, it's been coming down. Boom. Okay, that's how we do the research. We look at utility. Then once you have a utility, once you have a focus, then you start looking at the company. You look at Stellar. Who runs it? Who's the CEO? Who's their board? Are they moving right? Are they doing the right things? Okay, you look at that sort of stuff. And when you look at that sort of stuff, you'll start to notice common trends. This is what makes a good token. This is what makes like a hype token. This is what's not going to work. This is something that could potentially work. And now you're starting to build your portfolio. Now you're starting to think like an investor. Okay, so that's how we level up in this. Okay, so today was step 1. All right, and we finna wrap this up. Today was step 1. Today was step 1. Today was step 1. And we thank God for building the foundation, right? Because without a foundation, there's nothing you can do. Okay, so we thank God. First and foremost, we always want to give glory to him because without him, I mean, I wouldn't even have been able to have some of the knowledge that I have. Without him, I wouldn't have been streaming this right now. I wouldn't have had any of this that I have in front of me to do all of this, okay? So I want to give thanks to him. All glory goes to him. And let's be diligent. Let's form good habits this year. Let's be better versions of ourselves, okay? Investing is a great way to exercise being a better version of yourself. Reading the Bible, that's a great way to better exercise being a better version of yourself. Reading books in general is another way. Praying is another way. Exercise is another way. There's a lot of different ways to be a better version of yourself. Whatever that looks like for you, it's yourself, okay? Whatever it looks like for me could be different from you. It could align, and that's things that we could bond over, okay? So I'm just gonna close this out in some prayer, as always, because God is so good, and without Him, none of this is possible, okay? So, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And do not lead us into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. All right. So like I said, I'm going to wrap this one up. I pray that first and foremost, somebody gets more attracted to the Lord during this. Someone finds God during this, because that's what I want my light to consist of. I want people to see me and see how I operate in the Lord. So I pray someone finds Jesus after this. And then as well as that, I pray that something was said. Amen. I pray that something was said, something was done, something was clicked into the brains of any viewer out there that motivated them to want to invest more, that motivated them to want to learn more about these markets, and that helped them set up their accounts. Because like I said, that's step one. You can't go nowhere without completing step one. Okay, so with all that being said, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. I might even make the first half of that a YouTube video where we created the portfolio, just to kind of make it easier for people to find. Okay, but y'all have a blessed Sunday and a blessed week. We will be back next Sunday, 5 o'clock Pacific time, with another live, and we'll be announcing what it's going to be about later this week. So if you don't already, make sure to like, make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at TraderBoyz. Follow X, TraderBoyz. Everything TraderBoyz, all right? Because we built this brand as just a group of boys that love trading, that loved investing, and now we're sowing those seeds into the world, okay? So just because it says TraderBoyz doesn't mean girls can't get involved too, okay? Doesn't mean that girls can't get involved too. Women deserve every single right to get generational freedom just as much as us men. So y'all, I have a blessed evening.